Hi, this is Carl at Nova Slingshot, and I'd like to do an introduction video and let you guys know what we're all about. Little history on myself and the company. About 6 years ago, I bought a Honda Goldwing, and I really enjoyed riding the Goldwing. Found it was kind of heavy. It weighed about 900 pounds, and sometimes the bike and I didn't always agree on which way to go. So as I'm getting older, I decided I'm going to make a change and get a Can-Am Spyder. So when I went over to the dealer and I saw the Spyder, there on the counter was a brochure for this thing called a Polaris Slingshot. And I was quite impressed when I saw it, and then I drove it, and of course I fell in love with it and had to have one. So what I'm doing now is I've been a car shop owner doing auto repair for about 35 years. And I thought I wanted to put my spin on what can I do for the Polaris Slingshot. There are some companies out there like Welter who bought a Slingshot, loved it. He designs exhaust systems, so he made an exhaust system custom for the Slingshot. There's a bunch of companies out there that do aftermarket sales, and it seems like everybody's coming up with a product, something new, something cool to put on the Slingshot. So as far as what I do, I'm a mechanic. So I'm in Northern Virginia, and I want to do some Slingshot repair, aftermarket parts installation, as well as sales, just general sales and service. So we've got lifts, we've got a car shop, we've got a lot of experience in auto repair. Of course, no one has a lot of experience in the Polaris Slingshot because this is just its third year. After getting a manual from the factory and going over this, it's really pretty basic stuff, a little bit of motorcycle mechanics mixed in with auto included. Of course, it's a 4-cylinder Chevy engine. We have a standard belt drive like Harley's had for years. So yeah, we're ready to do any maintenance and repairs that you guys may need. As far as my personal Slingshot, it's a 2017 SLR. We've just got over 500 miles on it, so I completed the 500-mile factory service. And I'm not trying to be a huge internet retailer. I think our business model will involve getting some really good prices on products that we are vendors for. I'll have them listed on the website, novaslingshot.com, and you're welcome to take a look and see if you'd like to purchase anything. And if you happen to be in the middle area of the East Coast, Maryland, Washington, D.C., we're in Northern Virginia, even Pennsylvania is only an hour and a half away from us, and you feel like you want a dealer alternative as far as getting maintenance and service done, feel free to check us out. Everything we do will keep your factory warranty in effect. All the fluids we use are going to be approved by Polaris, so don't worry about warranty. I know most of the products are, barely 2 years old or just coming out of warranty. And of course, aftermarket products aren't warranted anyway. So yeah, feel free to give us a call or check us out at novaslingshot.com. Thanks. Okay, so what I'd like to do first is just give a quick walk around tour of the Slingshot. My personal unit is a 2017 SLR, and we've got an Orange Madness and Pearl Black. So it's been a really fun unit. Once we take a look at things, I'll go over some of the upgrades and modifications that I've done. If we start with the exterior, we've got the rims on the SLR are different than the rims on the S and the SL. We've actually got a 2-piece rotor on here where the rotor hat is separate from the disc itself. I'm going to be able to resurface those with my brake lathe. I do an on-car resurfacing, but if we ever get to the point where they're completely worn out, I definitely can replace just the disc and save the hat. As far as the exterior stuff, mostly same. When we go to the back tire, for instance, this one comes with a 305/30/20 as a stock 20-inch rim. As you can see, I added the JRI shocks. I just got the one-way adjustables. I'm not going to take it to the track, so I really don't have any need to do stiffness. Of course, some of the stiffness is adjusted when you do a height it's just going to make it a harder ride as well. I did add a trailer hitch on there from Alpha. It's been a really nice hitch. It was a great installation. I didn't have any clearance problems as some of the Slingshots do with the emergency brake. I guess they changed something on the 2017 SLR model, whereas there was no grinding involved in putting that hitch on, and it seems really rigid. On my motorcycle, the hitch that I had could actually wiggle up and down, and this thing is just rock solid. So I'm getting my trailer painted next week, and then we'll get to hook it up, take it for a ride, and I'm sure it's going to tow it just fine. This thing's got plenty of power, and I think my JRI shocks actually did improve the traction on the rear wheel. I don't think it's fantastic, but it definitely made a noticeable difference. I mean, maybe 5 or 10%, which anything's a help on the Slingshot. It just helps the angle. You know, the factory adjustment on this thing was about 6.5 inches off the ground at the front spoiler, and so I left everything just like it was out of the box. Probably do some adjustments later. If I raise the front and lower the rear, it's going to increase the traction a bit as well. When we go over to the interior with the SLR, we've got the Sparco steering wheel, Sparco shifter, and then the pedals are also Sparco. As far as the seats go, we've got the upgraded seats in the SLR, and definitely comfortable stuff. For my mods, I added these convex adhesive mirrors, and then I added the 180-degree mirror, and I think the 180-degree mirror is just a great addition. I can get view of a front bumper of a car almost up to the passenger seat, and then it starts to lose it in the convex mirror, and then it picks it up in the 180-degree mirror, and I can actually get the view of the front car bumper up past the side view mirror. So this 180-degree mirror has just been a wonderful addition. At my height, I can't see over the back of the Slingshot anyway. I can just barely get a peek past the fin. So, you know, I'm just enjoying the fact that I can see out the side. I think between the convex mirrors and the 180-degree mirror that my blind spot is virtually eliminated. I also got the RAM mount for the cell phone, and this thing's great. It's just a quick clip in, clip out. I did also get the bracket that allows you to put the charger for the phone right through the bottom, and it was a really easy installation. There was factory mounting bolts in there as well. For the windshield, I got the F4 Customs Plus 5. On my Goldwing, I definitely liked being fully behind the windshield. I never had it anything except all the way up. So I know a lot of people buy this just to get their hair blown in the wind, and you know, that's just, everybody's got their own style. I did also buy a bullet top. I got the canvas top with the roll cage, the one that curves down in the back, and I really like the top. I noticed that the top only comes down about maybe 5 or 6 inches above the windshield, and it makes this spill of air, this vortex runs in and hits me right in the glasses. It doesn't blow the glasses off my head, but I'm working with Baker Wings now to get something custom made as far as a plexiglass strip to take up that gap, kind of like a sun visor effect, just to you know, help with that in case somebody really wants to be more out of the wind without going with a full enclosure. Another addition I did was the side storage compartments. I got these actually from Polaris. It's their own brand. It's got a nice waterproof zipper on it, and I can store my gloves in there, you know, just any little items that I want to get to. That's most of the mods I've done so far. I did do the vented hood scoop. And next we'll go under the hood and see what's going on there as far as the SLR differences. When I opened this hood, I did see some reviews on the fact that these sometimes get cracked if you just pull with one hand from the center. So I'm actually going to set the camera down here for a second, and we're going to do it with 2 hands. Guess I'll have to just hold on to it. Okay, and we got the hood open. So, taking a look at the SLR, something else that I noticed, it's got a cover on the factory exhaust manifold. Eventually I'm going to be upgrading that to a header. And on the stock muffler, we've got a heat shield that came factory installed, and it's actually mounted with some clamps. It's not mounted to the muffler. Also on the SLR was the adhesive heat shield that is a aftermarket kit available. On this shield, it only covered the firewall, or the lower part. There's really no upper firewall. In the transmission tunnel under the driver's seat, there's no insulation. So the heat reflective is not there, and it gets hot just like standard. I don't think this gets quite as hot because of all this reflective material that's added on. I haven't been under an SL or the other years to see if this one's there, but I know this is a SLR edition only. Cold air intake came factory. I did add, like I said, these hood vents on the top, got rid of that factory plastic one, put these on. Something interesting that will yet to be seen is now there's an open spot for rain to collect in the area where the coils are. Now, there is a place for it to drain off, but it's definitely going to put this into a more corrosive environment than would have been from the factory. So I'll probably end up getting an aftermarket coil cover or a valve cover. That's most of the stuff for the exterior of the unit. I've got to say I really do appreciate the Polaris's choice of where they left this thing off. You know, a lot of us are saying, well, it should have had this, should have had that, you know, aftermarket items, should have had the exhaust out the back. You know, the thing is, it would have been $70,000 or $80,000 like a T-Rex if it had all those items. And I like the fact that maybe I like the exhaust here, maybe I want to keep the cat, maybe I want the exhaust out the back. I can just do what I choose to do to it. And yeah, I'm going to invest more money, but it really gives me the room to make all the modifications my own and make my custom Slingshot rather than spending $40,000 instead of $28,000 and having it the way the Polaris thought I may like it. So we'll just keep doing upgrades one at a time and taking it for a ride. So next I think we're going to enjoy the weather. I'm probably going to take a ride out to Annapolis today. It's really great here in Virginia, and I'll put the camera on the windshield and we'll take a spin. Thanks a lot.